welcome back to my channel. I am very aware that I haven't posted a video in quite a while actually. I've not posted a video in a fair few months now and I'm really sorry for that. Life has just been lifing a bit too hard recently. I've had lots going on, but whilst it's been a few months that I haven't posted a video, I have been reading quite a lot of very good books, and because we're halfway through 2025 now, crazy, I thought it would be time to come on and do a video about my top 5 reads of 2025 so far. I also put a poll on my Instagram and this was the most voted video that people wanted to see, and I'm going to be honest, it wasn't difficult picking them out because these are 5 books that are my soul books and I just want everyone to read them and love them as much as I did because they're just perfect. If you follow me on Instagram and TikTok, you'll probably have an idea about maybe what these books might be, and it definitely won't be a surprise to some of you because I talk about some of these books all the time. Grab yourself a cup of tea or a coffee or your drink of choice. At the moment, my favourite drink of choice, normally it's a coffee, but recently I've got into Yorkshire tea biscuit brew and I can thank Ashley for that. I'm obsessed with it at the moment. I'm drinking it all day, every day. It's just such a cozy drink. It's time to talk about my top 5 reads of 2025 so far, so I hope you enjoyed this video. For my top 5 reads of 2025, I am going to be doing them in order, so I'm going to be saving my top read, favourite read, god tier, soul book till last. But first off, we're going to be starting with a book that is a genre that I've got into this year and I've been obsessing over it. I now have a shelf dedicated to this genre. I was also lucky enough to meet the author of this book at a book signing event at Waterstones in York in May. I love this book so much. So number 5 is Medea by Rosie Hewlett. Before reading this book, I was unaware of Medea's myth, so I went into this blind. I'm very glad that I did because this book was a journey and I just loved it from start to finish. Medea is a story about an innocent girl that possesses a very special gift. She's abused and used as a weapon, and so Medea is desperate for connection and freedom, to get out of where she is. And because of this, she's led down a path that there might not be any coming back from. Throughout this book, you are left to question, is she a villain? Is she a victim? Or is she both? And that's one of the main things that I really liked about this book, is that you're left to question those sorts of things. Whilst reading this, I don't think I've ever gasped, ever sat up and literally been on the edge of my bed or my chair whilst reading before. I put my hand over my mouth in shock so many times. Also just genuinely shout and talk to the pages. And that's all because Medea is a book where you are left to witness all these horrific and horrible things. You witness abuse and manipulation and gaslighting. You just have to sit back and watch all of this happen in silence. I think that's one of the things that is quite frustrating as a reader, but I also really liked it because this book is a book that consumes you and you feel so much rage with Medea, all for very good reasons. Because of this, Medea is shaped by all of this trauma and betrayal. As the story goes on, you can really sense all of this simmering away and building up, and you're just waiting for it to all explode. This book explores both power and self-destruction. It immerses you in Medea's pain, in her choices, her thoughts, her revenge, and all of the inevitable consequences of these things. Most of all, one of the really important topics that I felt this book covered was how love can even make the most powerful people blind. This is a book that is the definition of female rage, and yeah, I just thought it was brilliant. I knew very early on that this was going to be a 5 stars, and if you've not read Medea yet, I really highly recommend. I recommend all of these books I'm going to be talking about today, but I really recommend this book. It's amazing. This next book is one of those books where I just think, why didn't I start this sooner? And book 4 is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Right from the beginning, this book was everything I hoped it would be, expected it to be, and wanted it to be, if not more. The world building right from the first page was perfect, and the pacing and introduction of characters throughout was just spot on. It didn't feel rushed at all. I just found learning about it so interesting. The creators, the dragons, the creatures, and the moons. I love the moon in general. I'm a sun sign, I'm an Aries, but I love the moon so much, and just having a book that touches on moons in such a different and beautiful way was just, I don't know, there's just something about this book that felt so magical and it really resonated with me quite a lot. I actually find the world in general in this book really emotional, quite special, because it's not like anything I've ever read before. Rave, the main character, is by far one of my favourite FMCs. I loved her from the start because she's sassy, she's headstrong, she's witty, and I really enjoyed her comebacks in this. The MMC in this also is charming and protective. He also deserves the world. Recently, Alex Warren has brought out his new album. The first time I heard Eternity, I thought of this book instantly. Read it and you'll understand why. The romance in this is everything, and I am just so excited for book 2 to come out. That's out next year. A lot of people are put off by this. A lot of people have DNF'd it because of the world building at the start. Personally, I think the world building is done really well, and I love that it kind of starts off that way because I just really like world building at the start of a book. Even when I watch a film or a series, when it always opens up about the world and what's happened, and then it goes into follow on the main character, that's what this book does. I just loved it. I think about it all the time. Really, really highly recommend this book. And if you've DNF'd it, try and give it another go. We're now on to book 3. Book 3 is stunning. It's one of the most beautiful, captivating books that I have ever read, and that is Circe by Madeline Miller. Circe, she is the first witch in Western literature, and Circe is the daughter of Helios, and Helios is god of the sun. Circe has been bullied and belittled her entire life for being different. From the start, Circe is alienated from the rest of the gods and goddesses. She's told she's useless and she's stupid. The family dynamic, especially the siblings, gave me kind of like Cinderella vibes, mean stepsisters. She's even made to feel small by her own mother as well. But it's so clear that Circe is not any of those things. Because of Circe being a witch, her gift then threatens the other gods, which leads to Circe being banished to the island of Aya. And of all the things that Circe goes through, she ends up finding her power, she survives, and she almost makes the Isle of Aya her own kingdom, which I just loved. It just becomes her own little sanctuary, and I feel like she really deserved that. Sometimes I think it's really horrible the things that Circe goes through and then ends up being banished to this island, but I also think it was a gift in disguise because she wasn't made to be around all of those horrible people. Despite the reason why she was made to go there, I think it was all for the better. Throughout Circe's story, we see quite a lot of relationships come and go, and one of the things that I did like about this was quite a lot of other well-known Greek figures that popped up in this as well. But overall, I'm just blown away by Madeline Miller's writing. Every time I picked up this book, and the Song of Achilles for that matter, I instantly just felt transported to Greece. I just felt like I was there. I felt like I was on the island of Aya, surrounded by all the gorgeous plants and trees and in the sun. Her writing's full of emotion, and when I reached the end, I just felt an overwhelming flood of emotion, bittersweet emotions for Circe as well. I just think Circe she's such an empowering figure that I feel like all women should look up to. She teaches so many lessons in this book. She shows you how to be free, how to love yourself, to most importantly never change for anyone, and to always live true to yourself. I just think that they're really important lessons and things to always remember, and Circe is such a beacon for all of those things. I just loved it, and I again tabbed this book so much. Yeah, it's one of those books that I will always think about. I'll always think about Circe, and it'll be a book that I genuinely will go back to and reread quite a few times because I just thought it was amazing. Yeah. Book 2 is a book, the first book I have ever read that has made me sob, burst into tears, to the point where I genuinely couldn't read through my tears at one point. I had to put the book down and just calm myself down and bring myself back together because this book is emotional. I also decided to listen to an ambience playlist on Spotify. I'm really glad that I did that because the experience of listening to ambience music for me just really heightens emotions in books for me, and because of that, this is why this is book 2. The emotions I felt were next level, and this is the first book I have ever cried and really got emotional about. The book is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my favourite contemporary fiction authors. I have quite a lot of her books up there. I am not a romance reader by any means. I don't know, I've just never really been able to get into them, and I always find them a little bit boring. And this is a love story, but it's more of a historical fiction love story, and it's just amazing. As soon as I found out about this book, I was desperate to get my hands on it, and I just knew it was going to blow me away, and it did. This book is about the 1980 space shuttle program, about the first female NASA astronauts. If you like films like Gravity, Apollo 13. You'll really enjoy this. And because this book is about NASA and astronauts, there is quite a lot of astrology in this, so you share the characters' love and wonder for the stars. It just felt really magical every time they spoke about astrology. When you look up at the stars on a night sky, it is so beautiful, and you do wonder what's out there. I'd never actually liked to go up to space. The idea of going up to space really scares me because it's just so unpredictable. So I'm in awe of astronauts going up there, their bravery and their courage, and that's everything you see in this book. It was just an honor to get to know all of the characters in this story. This is a story of love, of wonder, of hope, friendship, passion, self-discovery, and most of all, courage. The main character, Joan, she is incredible. What a woman. She's just so special, and the journey that you go on with her self-discovery, her love for the stars, her relationship with her niece, all of that is just, she's just such an amazing person, and I honestly enjoyed getting to know her throughout this book. Atmosphere is nothing short of a masterpiece. When you read this, you can really tell the detail and the time and the effort and the research that Taylor put into this. I loved every single thing about this book to my core, and in honor of the most courageous character in this book, I listened to Space Oddity on repeat for quite a few days after reading this. Everything about this just deserves all the stars in the galaxy. It's just, yeah, if you've not read Atmosphere, please go read it, but have some tissues at the ready. So we're now at book 1, my top read of 2025 so far. I'll be very surprised if anything tops it. I don't think it will, but I'll be very surprised if it would, because, yeah. If there was a 6-star option on Goodreads, an infinity option on Goodreads, this book would be that. I was very lucky enough to receive an ARC of this book in February. I'm still in shock that the publisher even got in contact with me and sent me the ARC for this. That will be a prized possession for the rest of my life. I just couldn't believe how beautiful this book was. My top read of 2025 so far is none other than The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gillig. No one writes like Rachel Gillig to start off with. Her prose is so dreamy and lyrical. I don't know how she does it. I honestly don't know how she does it. Rachel Gillig, for me, is the queen of modern gothic fantasy. She just knows how to create these gorgeously dark, atmospheric, gothic worlds. The Stonewater Kingdom, which this book is set in, is mesmerizing and so unique. One of the things that I was really excited for, well, to see when the book was published, was the map. The map and what I envisioned it to look like is just perfect. The map is so beautiful. If the essence of this book could go into a candle, it would 100% be lavender. It's just so dreamy and beautiful. The characters, I already felt like I knew them going into this. Sybil is beautiful. Rachel Gillig took a lot of inspiration from Aurora when creating the character art for Sybil. With the characters in this book, I just felt so attached to them all. One in particular, a very special little gargoyle. I would do anything for him. I would do anything for him. The romance subplot was beautiful. It was tender and full of yearning and not rushed. It was just, yeah, I loved every second of it. The Night and the Moth is a dreamy, gorgeous, dark tale. It's the most beautiful story about self-discovery, love, magic, life, death, good and evil. And I am so excited for book 2. The way that this book ends, I was like, no, this cannot be how this book ends. I need book 2 right now. I will spend the rest of 2025 very patiently waiting for the second book, because if you've read it, you'll understand. But it was a really good ending, but also it's left me feeling very impatient. It's just stunning. It's so transportive, so immersive, exactly like the Shepherd King duology. This book just did it again, if not better. If you've not read The Night and the Moth, this is my top read of 2025 so far. I will recommend this to the cows come home. It's incredible, it's beautiful, it's lyrical. If you love gothic fantasy with a subplot of romance, this is your book. And that's it. Those are my top 5 reads of 2025 so far. I'll be very surprised if anything tops these 5, especially The Night and the Moth and Atmosphere. I think it's going to be very hard to budge those from first and second place. Yeah, these are my instant top 5s. It was definitely not hard to pick these out at all. I love these books so much, and they are all definitely soul books of mine. I would love to know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, or if they're in your top 5 as well. And if you've not read any of these books, I highly recommend that you get them onto your TBR immediately and read them. I hope you're having a lovely afternoon or evening wherever you are. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.